एक मिनट रुक जाओ, रेडी होने दो। चलो ये कर लेते हैं। दिस कुड बी अ ग्रेट इंट्रो।
Hi, I'm Akshay.
Hi, this is Saurabh, and you are listening to the Founder Thesis podcast. We meet some of the most celebrated startup founders in the country.
And we want to learn how to build a unicorn.
Hi, my name is Swati Bhargava. I am the co-founder of CashKaro and our newly launched brand earnkaro.com.
वो बगल वाले घर में शर्मा जी की बेटी रहती थी ना, अरे भाई जो हर सब्जेक्ट में टॉप करती थी, हाँ ये वही है। In class 10th, she scored 100 on 100 in mathematics and she graduated from the prestigious London School of Economics. She is as aspirational as one can get. She is Swati Bhargava, co-founder of CashKaro.com, India's largest cashback website. In this podcast, Swati dives into her amazing journey so far and shares the most amusing anecdotes, some of which might even include industrialist megamind Mr. Ratan Tata. For a country that loves to save, she is one person who is running a business with a very noble cause. Here's Swati talking about how it all started.
So Swati, let's start from Ambala, जहाँ से आपके journey शुरू होती है. Tell me about growing up in Ambala and what was your family like?
I have very, very beautiful memories of Ambala. Ambala is a small town, Chandigarh के पास है, तो very often people used to ask me कि आप कहाँ से हो, तो मैं कहती थी चंडीगढ़ के पास से, दिल्ली के पास से. Abroad people wouldn't know Ambala, they wouldn't. उनको दिल्ली चंडीगढ़ का पता था. But Ambala is a very, very special place. There are so many talented kids that have come out of Ambala. I think it's because वहाँ जितने भी लोग हैं, they have sort of struck that balance of providing community-like support, community-like love, but at the same time, everyone is educated, doing well in business. They have good exposure also from an education, traveling, all perspective. So I think it was actually now I look in hindsight that actually Ambala gave me really good upbringing. And growing up in Ambala, my ambition was really कि मैं St. Stephen's में पढूं. And I even took my parents there once, and I said, "मुझे St. Stephen's campus दिखा के लाओ," and that is how I was growing up, and that's how my life was going on until class 10th में.
Are you from like
हाँ.
a typical Punjabi family?
I am. Yeah, actually I am. So I was trying to think of typical Punjabi क्या होगा, but Punjabi तो है, इतना typical नहीं है क्योंकि काफी health conscious हैं और butter chicken इतना ज़्यादा नहीं खाते हैं. So but I don't know typical Punjabi क्या होगा. No offense because I'm a Punjabi myself, तो किसी को मैं क्या ही बोल सकती हूँ. So yeah, but so I grew up with.
What were your parents doing?
Yeah, so we lived in a joint family. My father and his brother, they both used to work together, and they had an agricultural implements business, which was started by my grandfather. So, मतलब दादाजी के ज़माने का start किया था, but actually the two brothers really worked hard and brought it up and made it into a largish business. Agricultural implements, so farmers को provide करना agricultural implements is their thing. And my mom is there. My mom was a homemaker, housewife all through, when I was there, when I was young. But at the age of 55, she actually started her own social enterprise called Lakshadha, where they give employment to underprivileged women, जिनको जैसे और कोई job नहीं मिल रही, किसी के husband के साथ कुछ problem है, छोड़ दिया, alone है, they need to figure out how to raise their kids, their family. So she brought them all together and she taught them how to make, beautiful handbags and how to make jewelry. And I would wear it and I would take it with me to London also, in fact, and people would love it there. So she actually turned entrepreneur at the age of 55, which is amazing.
Was she like a role model for you also to become an entrepreneur?
She was, and my father was as well, because at the stage at which my father took the business from his father, it needed a lot of work, and he worked really hard. सुबह 8 बजे तो पापा निकल जाते थे ऑफिस के फैक्ट्री के लिए, and हम लोग तो उसके पहले खैर स्कूल जाते थे. But for the longest time we have seen him कि 8 बजे अपना शर्ट पैंट पहन के स्कूटर निकाल के he's out, and he would come back रात को 7-8 बजे as well. So I mean I think I've grown up in a very टिपिकल एस्पिरेशनल इंडियन हाउस, जहाँ पे कभी भी बच्चों को ये नहीं फील कराते कि हमारे पास पैसे कम है या कैसे क्या करेंगे, सब होता है उनको, मतलब आई वाज रेज्ड लाइक अ प्रिंसेस, यू नो, बट एट द सेम टाइम आई नो दैट माय पेरेंट्स ऑलवेज हैड टू वर्क हार्ड टू मेक इट हैपन, एंड my dad also worked hard, and to his credit that's why he was able to build such a big business, and you know that he can actually relax today. So but he's definitely worked for it all through. So both my parents have been my role models always as well. And my father-in-law also, I met him obviously after I got married, and my husband, सब लोग मतलब entrepreneurship बिल्कुल कूट कूट के भरी हुई उन सब में.
So around class 10th, when you were thinking कि मैं Stephens में जाऊंगी as my aim of life, then
Yes.
life changed for you. So tell me about that.
Well, उस दिन so you know I 10th के results आए, so I got 100 on 100 in mathematics, and I think I topped हरियाणा. उस समय 92% कुछ होता था, अब कुछ होता नहीं है. अभी तो मतलब 92 वाला भी सोचता है कि यार किसी लिस्ट में आ जाऊँ, I don't know, मतलब it's really become too competitive now. So my father, you know, he came across this advertisement in the newspaper which said from Singapore Airlines scholarship, and they said that we want to take 35 students from India, and it's a scholarship by the government of Singapore, and आपको 11 12 के लिए ले जाएंगे सिंगापुर में A levels के लिए. तो सब कुछ पेड है, मतलब रहना खाना एजुकेशन सब पेड है. तो you know it's on merit, you have to apply, you have to get lucky. So my dad shared it with me, and पहले तो we all thought कि यार अम्बाला से थोड़ा मुश्किल है इसमें निकलना, क्योंकि दिल्ली मुंबई इतने बड़े बड़े शहरों से लोग अप्लाई करेंगे. एंड यू नो आई ऑलवेज यूज टू फील कि उन्होंने मैथ्स ओलंपियाड, फिजिक्स ओलंपियाड क्या क्या किया हुआ है, और मैंने तो ये सब कभी किया नहीं है इन सम सेंस. So but at the same time, you know, a part of me also felt ki look, I have no idea where I stand, and you know today I think ki I'm so good, but who knows, so why don't I apply, and you know ठीक है, नहीं हुआ तो नहीं हुआ sort of thing. So my parents also really encouraged me कि ठीक है अप्लाई करके देखते हैं, you know. So we applied, अपना अच्छी तरह एप्लीकेशन जितनी अच्छी बना सकते हैं, सारी सर्टिफिकेट लगा दिया, सब कुछ कर दिया. एंड देन उसके बाद एक्चुअली वी गॉट अ कॉल कि आपका रिटन टेस्ट में हो गया. सो वी ऑल वेंट टू मोरिया शेरेटन इन दिल्ली, आई रिमेंबर, फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. एंड आई वाज, जैसे वो एक छोटे बच्चे जाते हैं ना बड़े से होटल में और सोचते कि वाह हम कहाँ गए सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग. थोड़ा सा वैसा सा सीन था, बट इट वाज नाइस, एंड आई गेव माय रिटन, एंड देन यू नो आई मेड इट टू द इंटरव्यू राउंड. देन thankfully I actually made it through the interview round, and you know they offered me a scholarship. And then we were all thinking कि अरे अब क्या करें, क्योंकि हमने ये तो सोचा ही नहीं था कि असली में हो जाएगा, और फिर हमने ये तो सोचा नहीं कि सिंगापुर जाएंगे कि नहीं जाएंगे, क्योंकि ये भी एक बहुत सोचने वाली चीज़ है. तो my parents and all their friends actually, they decided to, you know, one of my aunties, she threw a dinner for everybody to congratulate me, and they all said चलो, सब डिस्कशन किया सबने कि स्वाति को जाना चाहिए कि नहीं सिंगापुर, क्योंकि 16 इयर्स की कभी बाहर नहीं गई, यू नो, सीधा 2 साल के लिए. एंड उस समय ऐसे नहीं सोचते थे कि चलो हर छुट्टी में वापस आ जाएंगे. इट्स मोर लाइक कि चलो 1 साल बाद आएंगे जब आएंगे, यू नो, तो इतनी जल्दी पैसा नहीं खर्चेंगे बेसिकली. सो एनीवे सबने ये डिसाइड किया कि देखो जाना चाहिए, अपॉर्चुनिटी अच्छी है, और मैंने भी यही बोला पेरेंट्स को कि देखो कभी सोचा नहीं था, पर आ गई अपॉर्चुनिटी तो यू नेवर नो what else is there in store, you know. So we all agreed कि ठीक है. And my grandfather, you know, he was always so supportive. He used to say कि लड़कियों को पढ़ना चाहिए, लड़कियों को आगे बढ़ना चाहिए, and ही वुड से कि मैं कभी भी इस फेवर में नहीं रहूँगा कि 23-24 की होगी तो शादी कर दो, ऐसा कुछ नहीं करना, पढ़ाई करो और पढ़ाई करो, यू नो. सो ही वाज ऑलवेज, सो दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड स्ट्रॉन्ग वॉइस इन आवर हाउस हु ऑलवेज फेवर्ड women education. And my buas also at their times also were MA, you know, and उस समय भी कोई इतना ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ता था, but my grandfather always had a focus. तो I went to Singapore, and you know I went, and it was amazing. I was there for 2 years. Then I started thinking कि कॉलेज के लिए जैसे वहाँ पे काफ़ी सारी यूके यूनिवर्सिटीज आती थी कैंपस पे कि आप अप्लाई करो, एंड यू नो. सो
Was it a tough transition, like you know, from a small town, very protected environment, to being in a hostel, no family?
You know, strangely enough, it wasn't. I think I adapted very well and quite fast, you know, because I think what makes a difference is that, you know, in school also, I was always like debating, participating in things, friendly, and, you know, I was always involved in things. So while, you know, I grew up in Ambala and I had a very loving family, it wasn't like it was protected or narrow-minded, you know, and that is what I think is special about Ambala कि छोटी जगह है but बहुत खुली जगह है और खुले minds भी हैं लोगों के, तो इसलिए कभी मुझे ये नहीं लगा कि ओ मैं कहाँ से आई और कहाँ हो गई, ये तो इतना फर्क है, कैसे होगा, मतलब जैसा है वैसा है, you just adapted to it and you moved on, so yeah.
You felt equal to everyone there. मतलब you didn't feel like a small town से हूँ मैं, and none of that like happened.
मतलब I think it became a bit of a joke after a point, क्योंकि जब वो लोग ऐसे बात करते थे कि यार मैं विद्या मंदिर की क्लासेस में IIT ट्रेनिंग कर रहा हूँ, वहाँ की विद्या मंदिर के टॉपर्स थे और थे, तो फिर बाद में हो गया कि यार कि मतलब इस सब की जरूरत नहीं है, मतलब we all used to just joke about it कि ठीक है मुझे पता नहीं है इसको, बट कोई बात नहीं. I think also what makes a difference is what you do when you get there, because everybody has been given that same opportunity. And then I never felt it in my mind कि मैं उनसे कम हूँ या मैंने उनसे कम पहले किया है या कुछ किया है. I had my own areas and I was shining right through, and I wanted to be like that. ताकि किसी ने मुझे opportunity दी है तो मैं, अभी हम सब लोग select हो गए scholarship पे, now we are all equal. अब कुछ नहीं है, अब कहाँ से आए कैसे आए वो सब अलग बात है, और वी आर ऑल प्राउड ऑफ वेयर वी हैव कम फ्रॉम एनीवे. तो उसके बाद वहाँ जाके जैसे आई जॉइन द डिबेटिंग सोसाइटी एंड देन आई टुक लाइक दी स्पेशल पेपर्स इन इकोनॉमिक्स एंड मैथमेटिक्स एंड आई वाज डूइंग वेल इन एवरीथिंग, सो पीपल therefore started knowing me for what I was and what I was doing there, and everything else became a part of growing up and a part of our experience, and then उसके बाद वहाँ जाके लेकिन what kind of struck me was that there was like a group of people, जैसे कई लोग होते हैं जो थोड़े से क्वाइट होते हैं, लोगों से ज्यादा मिक्स नहीं करते, ज्यादा पार्टिसिपेट नहीं करते चीजों में. Now these people could be from big cities, but they weren't, I thought, making the most of opportunities which were given to them, and some of us were trying to. तो फिर अब ये मैटर नहीं किया कि हम कहाँ से आए, in some sense, Yeah.
Okay. So then once you finished your 12th, what did you decide to do?
So then I thought that I would like to pursue education in the UK, and UK, so Oxford and LSE, these were always like, they became kind of my new dreams, क्योंकि वो मैं देखती थी कि वहाँ से लोग सिंगापुर से गए हैं, वहाँ पे हमारे कॉलेज के अलमनाई भी गए हैं, वो लोग रिक्रूट करने भी आते थे. So I decided कि यार US तो बहुत दूर है और मे बी ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव भी होगा, और पता नहीं क्यों कभी इतना मन नहीं किया US जाने का. तो I thought कि I'll go to UK, and I applied to all the different colleges, and fortunately I got through to all of them, Oxford also, and London School of Economics, King's College, Imperial नहीं, I think I did UCL, या ऐसे 5 colleges में आपको allowed होता है, तो 5 में I got through, and my Oxford interview I think was the most was the one that I prepared for the most, because Oxford में admission मिलना is like something that ना भी जाओ तो भी you want to put it on your CV कि मिल गई थी admission, so वैसी थोड़ी सी उसके साथ feeling थी. तो with that I did that, and actually admission मिल गई, but then Oxford did not give me any scholarship, because they said कि हमारे पास funds नहीं है scholarship के लिए, and but London School of Economics I applied to them also for financial aid, and they said कि ठीक है, we will give you 80% of your tuition fee as scholarship, and बाकी रहना खाना and 20% जो है वो आप अपने आप fund कर लो. So that was a good thing. So but when I sat down with my dad and we kind of looked through कि कितना पैसा फिर भी चाहिए, तो भी it was quite a bit, and then we were thinking कि जाए कि ना जाए, क्या करें. And then my grandfather basically told my father कि देखो रोज रोज तुम्हारी बेटी को एडमिशन नहीं मिलेगी इतनी अच्छी जगह पे, अब मिल गई है, नाउ यू फिगर इट आउट कि कहाँ से तुम्हें करना है, कैसे करना है, यू डू इट, and then I also said कि चलो मैं पार्ट टाइम जॉब करूंगी, and I'll try and earn money on campus also. So ऐसे मिला जुला के sort of I went to LSE, and I studied there. I did mathematics and economics, which was a bachelor's science degree, and वहाँ पे I did some part-time jobs in the first year or so. उसके बाद first year में ही actually I did an internship at Goldman Sachs, और मुझे समझ आ गया कि यही जगह है जहाँ मुझे कॉलेज के बाद आना है.
How did you get so much clarity so early on?
There were a few things. एक तो ये कि like when you go to LSE, right? Now before LSE, I had no background of finance and I had no idea कि investment banking क्या होता है. But when you go to LSE, हर तरफ मतलब there are so many posters of Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. Everyone is hiring, coming on campus, and that aspiration sort of builds in you कि ये बहुत अच्छी बड़ी companies हैं और अच्छी होंगी मतलब यहाँ पे, and then I started attending some of their sessions, and And Goldman Sachs was the number one investment bank, and it probably still is. And it had the like the very very classic brand name, जो मतलब मुझे लगता था कि जैसे LSE एक अच्छा brand name है, सिंगापुर में it was a good college, तो next step has to be the number one investment bank, which in my view was Goldman Sachs. And उसके बाद and I read this book also, Goldman Sachs की book भी पढ़ ली मैंने, मतलब बिल्कुल I was converted, so to speak. And I did an internship there in my first year itself of college. And I when I went there, what I realized was that everybody was so smart, so intelligent, like alpha individuals को जैसे सबको इकट्ठा कर लिए एक जगह पे. And then you feel that you will actually learn in this environment a lot, and you will grow. So I went to Goldman Sachs, I did my internship there, and what I found was that everybody there was so intelligent, so smart, like alpha individuals जैसे जिसको कहते हैं, सारे एक जगह पे. And you just feel कि okay, this environment will help me learn. I will feel motivated here. I will become a better version of myself. I will learn a lot more and grow here, as a professional. So वो initial training जो है वो अगर अच्छी जगह पे हो तो उससे आपका base काफी अच्छा और strong बन जाता है. और फिर आगे जाने के लिए भी you have something amazing on your CV कि okay, you were at a good brand name, and if you could get into Goldman means you can get into a lot of other places as well. So my first year internship was just for a week. Then I applied for the summer internship, which was 10 weeks. So I did that in my second year. And then at the end of that, I got a job offer, which, enabled me to start there after my college. So that was a big relief, because also investment banking pays you well. So coming from the background, and where I know that my parents spent a lot of money on my education, my first thought was कि यार इसके बाद job होनी चाहिए जहाँ पे I can earn some money and I can find ways to pay them back also, because they have put their life savings into my education. So that was also a very very important driving factor. And therefore I joined Goldman. So my third year was the best at LSE because I was relaxed, क्योंकि अब पता था कि job मिल गई है इसके बाद. And so I did more activities on campus and everything. And then I started work at Goldman after that.
So what was your profile at Goldman?
So Goldman में I joined as an investment banking analyst in the investment banking team. So वहाँ पे एक standard structure होता है कि पहले आप analyst होते हो, फिर associate होते हो. So I joined in the investment banking team, and I knew कि it's going to be a lot of work. But I didn't realize कि 5 साल तक मैं रोज 8 बजे से रात को 11, 12, 1, 2 बजे तक काम करूंगी. तो 5 साल में basically that was it. That it was pretty long hours, but it was good because I learned a lot.
Was it like you were helping in M&As and deal making and stuff like that? What exactly were you doing there?
So actually my team used to work on advising on capital instruments. तो उस समय ये regulations आई थी यूरोप में that banks should have enough capital on their books as a buffer. And उनकी वो तो फिर we used to work in the structured credit and structured portfolio team, जहाँ पे हम banks हमारे clients थे, बाकी अलग banks जिनको हम बात करके बोलते थे कि अच्छा आपकी balance sheet वगैरह पे हम analyze कर रहे हैं कि इतना इतना debt है, इतना इतना आपका capital buffer होना चाहिए, तो we will help you raise that capital, we will help you structure something else in your book, things like that.
And did the Lehman crash affect you?
Well, it definitely shook up the industry a lot. And there were, layoffs as well. There were a lot of it became a very, very tense atmosphere in the company. But thankfully, I personally wasn't impacted.
Okay. So then, towards the end of it, I think for the last 1 year, you were in the executive office. So what was that experience like?
It was actually a really good experience because it taught me something very different. The first 4 years were all about numbers and pitching to clients and working very, very hard. The next year, so I wanted to move out of investment banking, and I thought after 4 years that I'll leave Goldman. But then they said, look, don't leave. Why don't you try out this new role in a different kind of division, So I did something very different, and I worked with the two CEOs of Goldman Europe, and उनके साथ I used to coordinate कि what are the clients of Goldman at an overall level, जहाँ पे उनको जाके meetings करनी चाहिए, उनको मिलना चाहिए. So I would talk to senior partners and figure out कि ठीक है, अगर आपके साथ ये CEO जाएं तो उस meeting में क्या होगा, is it important, ये वो, that kind of thing. But after doing it for about a year, less than a year actually, I started feeling कि it wasn't really my thing. So I just thought ki, and at that time in the last year also is when I met Rohan, who is my husband, and we started dating. We decided to get married,
What
and
was he
when we
doing?
got so he was so Rohan has also grown up in India. He was born in Mumbai, lived in Chennai, studied in the US, and then he transferred to LSE, where he also studied. So we knew each other then as friends, and we were friends for a long time until we started dating. And when we started dating, then it took us only 3-4 months to decide कि we want to get married because we already knew each other so well by then. So and he always wanted to be an entrepreneur. मतलब उससे जब हमें तभी भी बात करती थी तो भी he used to say कि यार अपना कुछ शुरू करना है, अपना कुछ शुरू करना है, and that's when
So where
actually
was he working?
so he was working at different hedge funds and asset management firms. So he was also in the finance industry in London.
So then you decide to get married around 2009-10 then?
Yeah. So we got married in 2009, and then after getting married, every weekend he would be like, अच्छा चलो ये आइडिया एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, अच्छा अब ये देखते हैं. डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ लंदन में हम कहीं ना कहीं जाते थे कुछ ना कुछ आइडिया एक्सप्लोर करने जो रोहन के माइंड में आता था. एंड देन आई यूज्ड टू टेल हिम कि यार शादी के बाद सब लोग अच्छी अच्छी जगहों पे घूमते हैं, तुम हमेशा मुझे आइडिया दिखाने ले जाते हो कहीं ना कहीं. But after we got married, we booked our honeymoon to Maldives, and we used a cashback site in the UK called Quidco. एंड वी वर लाइक कि यार ये क्या साइट है, इससे हमने इसके थ्रू शॉप किया तो इसने हमें 25,000 कैशबैक दिया. ये तो मतलब क्या ही साइट है, बट वी डोंट नो अबाउट इट एंड नोबडी वी नो नोज अबाउट इट. सो व्हाई इज दिस सच लाइक अ सीक्रेट एंड व्हाई इज सच अ हिडन कॉन्सेप्ट. So that is kind of where our cashback journey started, and we started exploring it, and we felt ki theek hai, I wanted to move out of Goldman, and eventually he also wanted to do a business, so why don't we do it together? And we got into the space of cashback, and in 2010 2011 or so we launched our UK company called Pouring Pounds.
So did you use your own funds or did you raise investment when you launched?
Initially though it was all our own, बाद में we raised money.
So tell me about the cashback industry. How does it work? Like especially in the UK, like what is the business model?
So actually, business model is the same in UK and in India. So I'll tell you in Indian context so that it's easier to relate to in some sense. And basically, what happens in the cashback industry is that so we as CashKaro, which is our Indian brand, we tie up with different e-commerce sites in India like Amazon, Flipkart, Pepperfry, Grofers, Big Basket, Mama Earth, Ajio, Mintra, absolutely everyone that you know of in the e-commerce space. And we work with their marketing teams and we tell them that look, we will drive sales to you, and her sale के लिए you agree with us कि आप हमें इतना percentage दोगे as commission. So with that, most of them are okay to do it because they think that look, this is performance marketing. हम सेल दे रहे हैं आपको तभी आप हमें कमीशन दे रहे हो. Otherwise हम आपसे कुछ फिक्स नहीं चार्ज कर रहे. Even if we promote you wherever we can and we do a lot for you. But what we do is that हमें जो कमीशन मिलती है उसमें से a large portion of it we give it to our कैशकरो मेंबर्स. तो मतलब अगर आप कैशकरो पे आए और आप कैशकरो से अमेजोन पे गए तो अमेजोन हमें 8-10% कमीशन देगा, उसमें से हम आपको 6-7% कैशबैक देंगे. और तो आपको बेसिकली आपकी हर ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग पे कैशबैक मिल सकता है इफ यू गो टू दैट शॉपिंग साइट वाया कैशकरो.
And I mean, is it like a paid membership or anyone can become a member?
It's a free membership. Anybody can become a member. And जो भी कैशबैक आपके कैशकरो अकाउंट में इकट्ठा होता है आप उसको अपने बैंक अकाउंट में भी ट्रांसफर कर सकते हो, या फिर आप उसके फ्लिपकार्ट अमेजोन गिफ्ट वाउचर भी ले सकते हो. So it is all your money. You don't have to come back and spend with us anywhere or some restriction or nothing. Every rupee that you earn there, you can get it transferred to yourself. After you hit that 250 ka, we have a minimum threshold. उसके बाद you can take out everything.
Okay. And are there like specialized deals also which are made available to CashKaro members and to other members of cashback sites?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, at any given point, जैसे इस समय अगर हम कैशकरो पे देखेंगे, so actually we've launched an event right now called Big Cashback Days. तो उसमें जैसे अगर आप अजियो पे शॉप करते हो तो आप कैशकरो पे जाओगे, we will give you a coupon code also, 500 off coupon code which applies on 2,000 above order. Plus you'll get 10% cashback also from us. So this is the deal that CashKaro members are getting if you go to Ajio via CashKaro. आप सीधा जाओगे तो आपको ये नहीं मिलेगी.
And
Yeah.
how is this tracking maintained? Like if somebody goes through CashKaro to Ajio and then buys like say 3 items, how do you know that
Yeah.
that person bought those 3 items?
So what happens is that when you go via CashKaro, so we have integrated with all these different sites, and they have placed our pixels on their thank you page, जो उनका चेकआउट पेज होता है बेसिकली. तो अगर आप कैशकरो से गए तो एक कुकी ड्रॉप होती है पहले, और फिर आप जब उसके ऑर्डर पेज पे पहुंचे तो मतलब आपकी वो जर्नी इज बेसिकली कंज्यूमिंग रिजल्टिंग इन अ ट्रांजैक्शन. तो जब आप ऑर्डर थैंक यू पेज पे होते हो, जैसे आपने ऑर्डर प्रेस किया, तो वो पिक्सल जो है वो फायर होती है और उससे वो बता देती है कि ये कैशकरो से ऑर्डर आया है. तो हमारा जो इंटीग्रेशन है रिटेलर्स के साथ, तो बैकएंड पे हमें वो इन्फॉर्मेशन आ जाती है कि ये यूजर आईडी का बंदा कैशकरो से अजियो पे गया, उसने 2000 का सामान खरीदा. तो हमें हमें ये नहीं पता लगेगा हमेशा कि आपने क्या खरीदा, बट हमें ये पता लगेगा कि आपने 2000 का खरीदा, 3000 का खरीदा, विच मीन्स कि 2000 का 10% हमें अजियो से मिल जाना चाहिए. तो मतलब हम आपको 8% कैशबैक दे देंगे.
Okay, got it. ठीक है. So you started this in the UK initially around 2010-11. Then what was the initial traction like, and for how long was it bootstrapped?
So when we started in the UK, our idea was that क्योंकि ऑलरेडी कंज्यूमर स्पेस में देयर वर साइट्स लाइक क्विडको, जिसको हमने खुद यूज करके ये आइडिया देखा था पहली बार. So we thought we will actually set up cashback sites for other large newspapers and other organizations जिनके पास काफी members हैं और उनको हम cashback as a service offer कर सकते हैं. So the Daily Mail newspaper told us कि ठीक है आप, that was our first client, and it was amazing because both of us came from finance background. हमारे पास कुछ को contact नहीं UK में, कुछ base नहीं किसी type का. तो हम LinkedIn पे सारा कुछ हमने किया बेसिकली. LinkedIn पे हम सबको मैसेज भेजते थे जो यूके के रिटेलर्स हैं, मार्क्स एंड स्पेंसर, डेपिनम्स, टेस्को, सबको हमने LinkedIn में ही मैसेज किया कि ऐसे ऐसे हम कैशबैक साइट शुरू कर रहे हैं, वी वुड लव टू हैव यू ऑन बोर्ड एज अ पार्टनर. एंड दे ऑल सेड कि हाँ वी आर गेम बिकॉज एनीवेज इट्स परफॉर्मेंस बेस्ड. एंड ऐसे करके देन वी यूज्ड टू गो इन द सबवे देयर, जो वहाँ का ट्यूब है, जो अंडरग्राउंड नेटवर्क है. तो वी वुड गो देयर एंड एवरी डे गोइंग टू वर्क वी यूज्ड टू गेट दिस फ्री मेट्रो न्यूज़पेपर. तो हम सोचते थे कि यार ये मेट्रो न्यूज़पेपर जो है ये इतने लोग पढ़ते हैं, अगर हमें मेट्रो न्यूज़पेपर की कैशबैक साइट हम चला दें तो हमारा बिजनेस चल जाएगा. So we focused on that and we wrote to the Metro team, and we had some meetings with them. We managed to get meetings, although we were totally new in the market. And it so happened कि they were also looking for a cashback product. तो मतलब बिल्कुल सही, जैसे वो डेस्टिनी ने अलाइन कर दिया सारा कुछ. And we got the contract from them. We started running their site called Metro Money Back, and that was the first thing we ever did. So we continued that for a few years, and then we thought that okay, we want to actually bring this idea to India, because India में cashback जो है वो अच्छा चलेगा. People like saving money. Online shopping also was growing at the time. So basically couple of years after launching in 2013, we decided कि okay हम इसको India लाएंगे. We launched CashKaro, and that's when we did an angel round of funding in the UK for about 5 crores.
Okay, so in UK you were largely a B2B play. In India you decided to do a B2C play. So why was that?
Because India mein we thought that because we also knew from UK that B2B is not where a lot of the scale lies, especially if you want to build a household brand. You have to be a B2C brand, and the B2C market was empty in India to take. We were among the first guys here, so we could take that. And now I think anybody coming in will have to think कि okay, now there is an incumbent player of sorts. But उस समय ऐसा नहीं था, and CashKaro was among the early sites here. So we felt कि यहाँ तो फिर scale बहुत कर सकते हैं, because online shopping will only increase over time, which is what our core fundamental view about India was, which we still believe in. So that's why we went into B2C here.
Okay, and in the B2B model, what was your revenue? Like you would take a percentage, the newspaper would take a percentage, and the customer would get a percentage. Like it would be a three-way split.
Yeah. The bulk of it we would give to the customer. Very often we would actually not keep anything as a percentage and charge a fixed fee to the provider. to the newspaper, मतलब कि हम आपके लिए सर्विस रन कर रहे हैं, तो वो रेवेन्यू आप सारा रख लो ताकि आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कस्टमर को दे सको. So large newspapers were also okay to give a lot of it and sometimes all of it also to the customer.
So that did not seem like a very scalable model, I guess.
हाँ मतलब इट वाज ओके, बट यू नो व्हाट द चैलेंज देयर वाज कि B2B में चैलेंज ये है कि वी हैव टू रिलाई ऑन देम टू प्रमोट दिस सर्विस. तो कल को वो बोले कि अरे मेरे न्यूज़पेपर में जगह खत्म हो गई, अच्छा आपकी एड में आज नहीं कल डालूंगा, तो फिर मतलब आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते. यू नो यू फील वेरी हेल्पलेस कि ओके हाउ डू आई ग्रो माय बिजनेस, बिकॉज मार्केटिंग इज इन देयर हैंड्स. So we wanted to take a full control over marketing and we should own everything, which is why we thought B2C was better here.
Okay. So I believe you raised the angel funding within 48 hours. How did that happen?
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. So, you know, when we decided कि हम CashKaro launch कर लिया हमने CashKaro launch, but to scale it, sort of, we need more money. So Rohan and I were just thinking, and I was sitting with a friend of mine in Starbucks, and I was saying, you know, ये CashKaro launch कर दिया, but काफी जल्दी बढ़ रहा है, but you know, we should मतलब I don't
You
know how
were
else to
still in
make it grow
UK
more.
at that time?
Yeah. We were living in London, and my friend was like, "अरे, you know so many people. आप उनको बोलो कि हम invest करें इसमें. आप इंडिया में जाके ये business करो, अच्छा करो." And you know, until then somehow I hadn't thought about it so seriously कि हमें पैसे raise करने चाहिए. So you know, but then I thought, okay, this is a good idea. So I actually made a pitch deck within 48 hours. Made a pitch deck, sent it out to people who were, you know, who we knew in our friends and family. And no, family don't actually. They were either friends or people who I knew from Goldman. And you know, they were acquaintances basically. And it was so amazing कि like immediately लोग बोलने लगे कि yeah, we are interested, let's meet. So I started lining up meetings today, for example, for tomorrow. And then I would go to a meeting and I would, you know, sometimes Rohan and I both would go, or sometimes I would only go. And then I would call him and say, yeah, he's in, karte, you know. And then on the second day, I was like, man, like there is some magic going on, you know. And then I think what happens is कि people start getting motivated by other people. So when the first 5 people come in, the 6th, 7th guy thinks कि कुछ अच्छा ही होगा तभी ये जा रहे, you know. तो ऐसे करके मतलब वो herd mentality थोड़ी सी आ जाती है. But equally we are very grateful for it because उसी की वजह से हमारा round, you know, अच्छा बड़ा हुआ to the point कि जो last 1-2 लोग आए, मतलब I didn't even meet them. We did it only on the phone call. And they were happy with that, and they said, "Count me in, close the round, let's go ahead." And our target was to raise $300,000, and we ended up raising 750. And even then, we could have done more meetings and you know potentially got more people in also. But then we said, no, now we are going like above what we need, and we are diluting also a lot. So let's not do more, and we capped it at that, which I think was a good decision.
How much did you dilute for that 750?
Oh, I think I can't say that, otherwise पूरा cap table आ जाएगा बाहर. क्योंकि अब there are lots more people on the cap table, so they might be more concerned about it now.
Okay, so this was in 2013 that you raised. So when did you move to India?
So 2015 में late 2014 actually we started spending a lot more time in India, and we started feeling कि देखो अगर business India में बनाना है तो वहाँ पे time spend करना पड़ेगा, otherwise you don't get a pulse of the market. And you know, we used to wake up सुबह 5 बजे in London because India में तब 9:30-10 बज जाते थे, and the team would be coming in, you know. And the first person we ever hired was because हम यहाँ छुट्टी के लिए आए थे गुड़गांव में, and we said कि यार 1-2 लोग अगर इंडिया में हायर कर ले तो अच्छा रहेगा बिकॉज वहाँ यहाँ से हेल्प कर सकते हैं उधर भी. तो हमने मतलब ऐसे सोच के जैसे 2 लोगों को हायर किया. फिर एक बारी किसी फ्रेंड का मैसेज आया कि मेरी फ्रेंड इंटर्नशिप देख रही है, डू यू हैव एनीथिंग. आई सेड हाँ, इंटर्न भी अच्छा आइडिया है, कभी क्यों नहीं सोचा. ठीक है, इंटर्न ले लिया. तो ऐसे करके लाइक यू नो 2 इंटर्न्स लिए. तो हम दोनों लंदन में बैठे और यहाँ पे ये 4 लोग, 2 इंटर्न, 2 फुल टाइमर, और ऐसे करके मतलब टीम बड़ी हुई. And then we came to a point where you know we started hiring for other roles, and the team became like 10-12 people, then 20 people, and we said, oh, I think we have to like be there because ऐसे तो coordinate करना ही बहुत मुश्किल है, because we are also new in this business and they are also new, you know. Because 2014-15 में ऐसा नहीं था कि digital marketing बहुत था जितना आज है, and you know सब कुछ मतलब शुरू हो रहा था basically, and we didn't even have funds to do a lot of sort of senior hiring or something. So we had mainly junior and mid sort of people. So which were all, I mean, they were all amazing, but you know we didn't have anybody to lead marketing as such here. So that's why we felt that you know we should be here, live in the house that we are building. So we moved back to India, and then business started scaling up more, and we said, "Arey, then why don't we raise more money and do something bigger?
Yeah.
Why stop here?"
So
And
by 2015,
yeah.
when you moved, was India bigger than UK? Your India business, or were they roughly equal?
India was roughly equal at that point.
Okay. So when did it
Yeah.
overtake UK? And do you still do the B2B part of it in UK?
No, we got out of it in 2017. Yeah, 2015 tak, at the start of 2015, I think it was still equal. By the end of 2015, India had taken over. Yeah, yeah. So we started talking to funds here, and तब मतलब इतना भी समझ नहीं थी मुझे actually, because कभी ये किया नहीं था कि जैसे सीरीज बी इन्वेस्टर्स अलग होते हैं, सीरीज सी इन्वेस्टर्स अलग होते हैं. I remember having a chat with my friend at Novest Venture Partners and pitching to them for our angel/series A round. And today, if somebody tells me that, I was like, dude, you can't pitch to Novest for a series A. Like they invest like 15 million. I'm asking for like 2-3 million. Doesn't work like that. तो ये सब चीजें कोई सिखाता नहीं है. And I think now there is a lot more awareness, and maybe people who have always been here in that ecosystem had that, but for me it was completely new. When I moved here from London, ex Goldman was my only identity, and that was the first time I made a Twitter account. That is the first time I made a LinkedIn account, when we started Pouring Bounce. And today I'd like to think I do my social media fairly well, but all of that is something that we have really really learned on the job. So yeah, I think at that point we started speaking with a couple of investors, and we realized that Kalari Capital was actually the right one for us, because they do Series A, and we met the team, we liked them, so it just kind of felt right from day one, and I was hoping कि यही हो जाए, यही सही है. So thankfully वही हो गया. So that was good. We raised about 3.8 million.
How easy is it to get in front of VCs, like to open those doors?
See, was it then, yeah, is it today?
Then, like for you, was it challenging, or like did people introduce you to VCs and hence you got a lot of meetings, or how did you go about it?
I think my first decision in this whole process was to not hesitate to put myself out there, and to tell myself that I will take every opportunity I get to be able to do that. And I think those are very meaningful, decisions, so to speak, to take, because many people don't do that. And they feel conscious, and they feel like, अरे अभी तो मेरा product सही नहीं है, ready नहीं है, complete नहीं है, how do I pitch, how do I talk about it, what if others copy it? You have like lots of things in your mind. So initially, one of my friends, he did introduce me to a few VCs, but it turned out that none of those were relevant, because they were all Series B plus VCs. So, but then I wrote to people myself on LinkedIn, and I think I was surprised that actually almost everyone used to reply on LinkedIn. And I think that is even today also it happens. If I write on LinkedIn, I usually get a reply. So that was a good, so I think we spoke I think we wrote at Indian Angel Network, and then Indian Angel Network there was a guy who was managing some of this process, and then he, I think, moved to Kalari. And then one day I was just talking to him on Skype, and he was like, "What's up?" And I said, "Nothing, just started our fundraise." And he said, "Hey, why don't you talk at Kalari?" And then I looked up Kalari, and I said, these are perfect. Then I looked into their portfolio. They had Snapdeal, Myntra, like more e-commerce. So I felt like this team will have a really good understanding and be able to help us as well, because they understand the market also well enough. So just started off with them, and went from one round to the other, and did my first sort of partnership meeting pitch, with Bani sitting there and everybody else in their big room full of full table there. And I just stood up and just pitched, and that's what you just tell yourself, you do it. And I had done it before. It's not like I'd not pitched before. I had done it, because every time we would go talk to a VC, first they'll make you say all this, then only they'll tell you कि हम तो series B करते हैं, अब series A नहीं करते. So इसलिए in some sense गलत चीजें करने से भी थोड़ी practice हो जाती है. And then उसके बाद by the time you hit your right one, you realize कि ठीक है, मतलब थोड़ा सा flow तो आ गया है बोलने में, which is important. बस उसके बाद then we do a lot of data research. People would ask us for cohorts. We'll be like, cohorts क्या होते हैं, पहले नहीं सुना, अच्छा चलो research करो, बनाओ, ऐसे करके, like and thankfully जैसे both Rohan and I were very good with Excel, we were good in maths, we were good in our modeling, ये सब चीजें हमने सीखी थी अपने finance world में. So it all kind of came in handy when people would ask for things, and I think that pedigree also really helped us, because many VCs would say, your business, and this is true for every sort of seed angel, Series A sort of company, that businesses do change over time and they are in fairly early stages. So a lot of investors take bets on founders. And if they come across people who have worked hard to make their life, work hard to kind of get somewhere, then they feel like ठीक है, इनको भी hard work की आदत है, अपने आप struggle करने की आदत है, ये लोग कुछ, we can still bet on them. So I think that pedigree, that's where it helped to sort of do that.
So, how were you acquiring customers? Was it like word of mouth, or was it AdWords, or what? Like 2013 you started.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how did your customer acquisition piece evolve over the years?
So thankfully enough, we've 75% of our traffic has always been direct plus organic, i.e., not paid, since 2013, and this is true even today when we have started spending substantially more on marketing. And I think it sort of started off because at the start we tried to focus on SEO. We said we should have certain key things fixed in the site ताकि हमारी site rank कर सकती है, we can get organic traffic through that. We focused on building a brand. We weren't trying to do something tactical ki bas deal hai, aa jao, deal hai, just money. It's a brand, because we want to be a household name, and that is still our aspiration today. So we got a social media agency, we got a PR agency, and with by agency maybe kya hai ki when all of them, we worked with agencies that were startups themselves, so that we could manage the costs. And I was very active on both these fronts, and I would go to LinkedIn and write to journalists myself, and say that this is who I am, this is where we've come from, and this is the business we've started. We'd love to get featured in your column, and so I've done some of that PR myself. And because of that, even today there are some journalists that I know from that day, because we had lunch together the first time I came to India, 7 years ago. So even today when the agency calls them, they say, yaar, please don't pitch CashKaro to me, because mujhe aapse pehle ka pata hai. So yeah, so those things help, because then you build a relationship, and then it helps you, because you need you need help at every step. So it gives you that positive ecosystem that you need to do well. So I think some of that we invested in. Then of course we ran Google ads, Facebook ads, and I've always been a sort of a social media friendly person, so my focus was always on trying to do more of that branding sort of activity as well. Then we started doing email marketing. Then gradually as we went along, we discovered influencer marketing. Then influencer till today is a big piece for us, because influencers on YouTube, on Telegram, Instagram, they make videos for CashKaro. They tell people that, look, if you're shopping online, you go via CashKaro, save your money. This is then they do videos for different deals of ours also. कि मामा पे शॉप करना है तो कैश करो से 15% मिलेगा, जियो पे करना है तो 10% मिलेगा, ऐसे करके Amazon पे, and then people started realizing कि okay, there is a lot of money that they can save with cash karo. And that is what made cash karo a habit for people. And you need that critical mass. So abhi obviously there are lots of people in India that still don't know about cash karo. Some of them know it, they don't even use it, because they forget it. And we are not that big yet कि हर जगह वो जाएं तो उनको कैश करो दिखे, तो भूल जाते हैं लोग नाम, तो फिर उनको याद कराना पड़ता है, फिर उस पर रीमार्केटिंग करनी पड़ती है. But I think there is a pool of good savvy loyalists and shoppers who sort of stay true to cash karo, and they refer their friends, and ऐसे ऐसे करके organic एक network effects भी kick in हो जाते हैं.
Okay. So how has your membership grown, like from 2013 to now? Like if you can share some kind of growth numbers or something.
Yeah, sure. So see, now we are almost 5 million members at CashKaro. So that is a decent pool of members, and we do anywhere. I mean, we do about I'll just translate. We do almost $500 million in GMV per year.
Okay.
Uh,
So That means you generate sales worth $500 million for your partners.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Okay. And about 8 to 10% of that comes back to you, out of which a big chunk goes to the consumer.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, average commission rates are not 8 to 10%. अगर average लेते हैं तो थोड़ा कम आता है, but that is how the business model works. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about Ratan Tata and his involvement in CashKaro. Did that happen after Kalari?
Yeah, so after Kalari, we spoke with Vani and we said, look, Mr. Tata is on your board, so can you get us a meeting with him? And they were all like, and we all were also like, पता नहीं deal side में invest करेंगे कि नहीं. But क्योंकि generally our impression was कि वो social चीजों में ज़्यादा interested होंगे, But then I used to tell her कि
why did you want to chase him? Like, why was he a target for you? Okay, you want him to invest?
Well, because I think we all, both me and Rohan, always felt that Mr. Tata has such a solid brand name, and it's almost like a seal of trust and credibility. He himself is such a successful businessman, and people regard him so well, so highly. So if he is on our board, on not on our board, but as a shareholder, it would be an experience to work and meet somebody like him. And of course, as a startup, you are looking for all sorts of validation, right? So it kind of helps you when you have a supporter like that. So we spoke with Kalari team and we said that please arrange an interview, and we used to joke that look, we are giving cash back to people. This is also a social cause, so money to de rahe, maybe he'll be interested. So, but more than jokes aside, it was the same sort of Singapore idea कि करके देखते हैं ना, क्या पता लग जाए, and then at least we'll know where we stand also, and so we took a chance, and then I know Kalari was kind enough to sort of arrange that meeting for us, and there were a couple of startups, so उन्होंने ऐसा एक अपना दिन schedule किया कि ठीक है, you come to Mumbai and meet Mr. Tata. So we went to the Taj Hotel, जहाँ पे overlooking the sea, and I still remember so clearly that I kind of walked into that hotel, and the guy who was leading us, he took us to the lifts at the back, and उनकी lifts में there was a C button. तो कहते हैं सी को प्रेस करोगे तो you go to the chambers of Mr. Tata. And I said, what? I would have normally come to this hotel, and I realized कि इतना easy है उनकी chambers में जाना. बल्कि ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई भी जा सकता है. I'm sure there are rules and everything. But at that time it seemed like अरे पता ही नहीं था कि C press करके ही होता है. So anyway, वो C press करके we went up, and so this was 2015 December. Early December when we had this meeting, because Kalari invested in November 2015. So we landed on the floor jahan pe wo lift khuli, and we walked in, and I still remember the whole thing was like beautifully wooden paneled, and it was just like really nice, and लगता है कि हाँ कि कहीं special जगह आ गई, and then they tell you कि ठीक है आप यहाँ wait करो. So we sat down, and then the butler came to us and he said, ma'am, what will you have? And I said, अरे मतलब what do you have? So then he just looked at me and he said, ma'am, this is Mr. Tata's chambers. Everything is available. And I said, okay. So, I never thought कि मतलब normally आप होटल में जाके कहते हैं ना कि मेन्यू तो दे दो कि क्या है आपके पास, So I was obviously doing my normal thing. And then I was like, अब कुछ तो मंगाना ही चाहिए, जो मतलब सोचा भी नहीं था, मन भी नहीं था, whatever. So I said, nahi, I'll have pancakes, So because I just like pancakes, I don't know why I ordered it. And then उसके बाद हमारा number आया, so we went inside to the room, and there was a huge table, and Mr. Tata was sitting there having his dessert. When I still remember, his dessert plate had few different छोटे desserts, and I remember thinking कि such a sort of a man, even at this age he can eat dessert so well, and हम लोग अभी से होते यार ये खाना ये खाना, so that's really good, right? And that's amazing. So then anyway, he was sitting in the center of the table, and his investment team was there, and Kalari team was there, and they had area to pitch. So मतलब जैसे side पे table के end में there was a wall projector कि आप वहाँ जाके साथ में खड़े हो जाओ और आप pitch कर लो. तो I went and stood there and then I realized कि यार ये तो 15 मिनट इतनी जल्दी हो जाएगा, मैं यहाँ पिच करती रहूंगी and he'll be sitting there in the middle of the table, we will not have any conversation, so how is he going to invest in us because he won't even get to know us. So I took a chance and I said to him that, sir, if you don't mind, can I sit across from you and have a conversation? The deck, whatever, we'll follow from here or we won't, whatever, we're not so fast, but I would love to just talk to you for the time that we have. So he said, ki, हाँ, sure, why not? And I said, okay. So I sat there, then he started asking me, who are you, where are you from? So that's how I wanted. Like, I wanted it to be a conversation, not an interview. And then, when you do something like that, you also kind of take control a little bit, right? Ki, okay, okay, now I'm going to tell you this, basically. And he was listening, he was attentive. So we started telling him about us. And then, I also told him that my 95-year-old grandfather will be really happy today that I'm here with you because his first job was with Tata Steel. So I have to take a photo with you at the end of this. And he started laughing, and he said, "You're a good entrepreneur. You've got me to get to agree to a photo even before we start." So that kind of lightened up things a little bit. And that was it. So we spoke, and then after I told him about it, KashKaro and all, Rohan spoke, and then I said, sir, so what do you think? And he said, you are telling me that in a country that loves to save money, you are giving free money. So what's not to love? And I said, great, exactly my point. And so we joked about it. So we said, great, so we are all on the same page. This is a business we should do. We should scale in India, right? So ऐसे करके we discussed it, and he asked questions also in between. Just like he was engaged basically. And उसके बाद we sort of forgot about it. And Rohan and I thought कि चलो, it was nice meeting Mr. Tata. Investment होगी कि नहीं वो तो पता नहीं, but experience was good. Then 2 weeks later, I get a SMS saying, "Hi Swati, this is Venkat. Can we talk?" And I thought, Venkat actually was an intern at KashKaro at that time, and I thought, why is the intern messaging me at 10 p.m.? मैंने कुछ reply नहीं किया उसका, And then 10 मिनट बाद मुझे लगा कि यार अगर intern ही सही, अगर वो message कर रहा है तो हो सकता है उसको कुछ चाहिए ही होगा, So I should not shouldn't do this. So I replied to him saying, of course, call me anytime. So he called me. And he said, hi, this is Venkat from Mr. Tata's office. So that was like probably the most, pleasant surprise I have ever got in my life. Maybe after my proposal, maybe this is the second one. So that was amazing. So he said, we were really impressed with your pitch and Mr. Tata would like to invest in your business. And I was just stunned because I was totally not expecting pehle to this Venkat, upar se this news, and then my first thing to him was that, sir, are you very, very sure? Because if you are, then I'm going to get really happy, then you can't take it back. So he said, yes, just send me the docs, we'll sign. Great. Perfect. So I went and ran everywhere that I could and told whoever I could at 10 p.m. and the rest were told next time.
How has the product KashKaro evolved over the years? Like from both the technology standpoint and overall the product for users, like the features available in it and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it has really evolved because we've taken feedback, we've done user sort of UI UX studies in between. We've gone through a redesign, we've gone through a rebranding exercise as well.
Is it a web only thing or?
No, both web, mobile app, everything. Mobile site, mobile app, web. In fact, our mobile site gets the highest traffic, and then mobile app, and then desktop. So desktop has now become less than 10% of our total. Yeah, that's how India is now. So we have evolved with that. So the product, of course, the first thing is that the number of sites that we feature on KashKaro, they've gone up a lot. Of course, when we started, it was like maybe 50, 100. Now we have over 1,000 websites. Pretty much everybody online is there. And from a user standpoint, we've built a lot of features like faster tracking. So what happens is that initially when we set up, many of the reports were manual. सो ऑटोमेटेड नहीं था कि जैसे अगर आप कैश करो से फ्लिपकार्ट पे गए या कैश करो से अमेजोन पे गए तो आपको वो रिपोर्ट्स आएंगी, फिर आप उनको अपलोड करोगे, फिर यूजर को पता लगेगा कि मेरा कैशबैक आ गया। तो अभी अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैव बीन इंटीग्रेटेड एंड ऑटोमेटेड, जहाँ पे हमने डायरेक्टली जैसे फ्लिपकार्ट के साथ किया हुआ इंटीग्रेशन, तो विद इन 3 hours यू गेट अ मैसेज कि योर कैशबैक हैज कम। इन सम केसेस यू गेट इट इन 5 minutes also. In some cases where the offline reporting is still there because that partner themselves haven't enabled the automated thing yet, so then it takes like 24 hours to do it. But that speed of cashback has gone up. The cashback amount for customers has gone up. The rates are attractive, so the deals are better. We have a large technology team. When we started off, it was our CTO, who was pretty much the only guy in tech for a long time, and now our team is about 20 people, and our overall team has 130 people, full timers. So we've gone that ways. Our customer relations team has more than 25 people, so people get responses to their queries very fast as well. We've opened up phone call chat phone call, chatbot, email. We take queries from people on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. वीडियोस पे भी वो कमेंट्स छोड़ते हैं, उसको भी देखते हैं, like everything. Telegram also, things like Telegram have come in. Telegram is actually very very popular amongst deal seekers, which a lot of the normal sort of audience population doesn't really think about, because they sort of think of Facebook and Instagram as social, and then Twitter has a little bit of views and political as well. But Telegram is actually where a lot of communities and deals are also being shared and thought of.
So you join those communities and share your deals as a marketing.
Yes, we do that. Then influencers amongst those communities also share our deals, and we have our own communities as well. All three.
Okay. And do you also do like like how Netflix will recommend to me what I should watch as soon as I open the app? So do you have something like that for users? Like what would be a deal that they would be interested in?
Yes. So that layer of personalization we have built in our engagement tools. तो जैसे अगर आप कैश करो से अजियो पे गए तो आपको ईमेल में मिंत्रा और ऐसी फैशन साइट्स लाइम रोड, कूव्स, इस सब के बारे में दिखाएगा. So that personalization will happen to you and how we talk to you as well.
Okay. So you diversified into Earn Karo about a year back.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So, Earn Karo came up because we were sort of thinking that, Cash Karo is for the slightly evolved online shopper, that if I am shopping online, how do I get a good deal? Is what is my question, and then I will go find and I'll discover Cash Karo and I will use it. But then there are lots of other people in India who are, who know how to place that online order, but उनको deal ढूंढनी नहीं आती, उनको product भी ढूंढना नहीं आता. They find it a little challenging and they need help in that process. So as we get more and more people online in India from tier 2, tier 3, tier 5 cities as well, there is a little bit more of hand holding needed as that funnel opens up. So we thought Earn Karo is basically, so Earn Karo is a platform through which you can share deals with your WhatsApp groups, your Telegram groups, your Facebook, anywhere you want. And if anyone buys from the link that you share, they get to, shop at the site as normal, but you get to keep their cash back. So you earn what we call as profit. ताकि लेट्स से एंड उसके यूज केसेस दो हैं. एक यूज केस ये है कि आई माइट बी अ स्टूडेंट एंड आई हैव अ व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप. आई माइट बी अ हाउसवाइफ एंड आई एम पार्ट ऑफ अपने कॉन्डोमिनियम का मेरा एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है. नाउ व्हेन आई एम ऑन दैट ग्रुप, आई नो दैट पीपल ओवर देयर थिंक ऑफ मी एज अ मिनी इन्फ्लुएंसर एंड दे विल लिसन टू व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. सो आई कैन से टू देम कि हे गाइस, अमेजोन पे ये ग्रोसरी की सेल चल रही है, इसमें आटा इस बार बहुत सस्ता मिल रहा है, आप देख लो जाके. So I will share that link of Earn Karo link of Amazon over there. लोग उस पर क्लिक करेंगे, वो सीधा Amazon पे जाएंगे. आपने उनको वैसे भी अच्छी डील दी है, वो उसी डील को खरीदेंगे, दैट्स फाइन. बट वो 5% कैशबैक जो कैश करो पे मिलता था, वो आपको 5% आज आपका प्रॉफिट मिल जाएगा इन योर Earn Karo अकाउंट. तो आप इस तरीके से डील्स शेयर कर सकते हो लोगों के साथ.
So essentially you are like empowering micro influencers to monetize their influence network.
Exactly. And there are also influencers also who are on Instagram, on YouTube, So for example, I'm quite active on Instagram, and I often post saying ki, I bought this shirt from Ajio and it's so nice, it's so comfortable, it's all cotton, and somebody says अरे मुझे भी link दे दो. So now पहले क्या होगा कि मैं सीधा उसको Amazon या Ajio का link दूंगी saying here you can buy it. अब मैं क्या करूंगी कि मैं वो Amazon या Ajio का link लेके Earn पे कॉपी करूंगी, वहां पे पेस्ट करूंगी, और वहां पे एक बटन है कन्वर्ट लिंक दबा के जो Earn मुझे लिंक देगा मैं वो दूंगी किसी और को, ताकि उसको तो वही मिलेगा जो उसका चाहिए उसको, बट मुझे उसका प्रॉफिट मिलेगा.
So it goes straight to that product page only, not to the home page.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay. So tell me about how to grow your social media following. So that is something which you have learned over the years. So what are some of the lessons that you'd like to share? I think you are at 50,000 or close to 50,000 on LinkedIn, which is a pretty big number.
Actually, LinkedIn पे I think the number is more because 50K के आगे वो allow नहीं करता add करना. So everybody else who sends a connection. So there are about almost 10,000 unaccepted invites in my inbox in LinkedIn because we can't add more. So everybody else basically goes into a follower. Shows up as a follower. So on LinkedIn, I think the number will be over 100K. But all those are, to be honest, just numbers. I honestly think people who follow you, they have a certain impression about you, but the people who know you, they should like you because they know the real you. So how to, it takes some effort. So unless you are like Sachin Bansal and everyone knows you anyway, and everyone like worships you anyway, so आपको फिर उनको effort करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी शायद, लेकिन normal लोगों को effort करना पड़ता है, हम सबको करना पड़ता है. तो effort is one. Second, I think it's about sort of figuring out कि आप किस चीज के बारे में social media पे post करना चाहते हो. ताकि लोगों को थोड़ा सा पता लगे कि what is the kind of content that they will get from you if they follow you, if they connect with you. So therefore that is where you are almost building a brand for yourself and building yourself as a brand, and then people start sort of understanding. Just say my sister-in-law, she's a makeup artist, so all of her content is around makeup tips and beauty looks, and she posts about the brides that she does makeup for. She'll post something DIY, something or the other. So I have taken a slightly different approach. Similar actually to my sister-in-law. What I do is that I post about a mix of personal and business, because I think that a lot of people if they are interested in your business, they actually want to get to know you as a person. And there might be some people who may or may not be that interested in your business, but they find you inspirational as a person, or they just like you as a person. Everything is not about inspiration also, and they just are happy to talk you to some extent or to see you or whatever. So what I do is I post about CashKaro a lot. I post about, I think we have a fabulous work culture. So I post about the team, things that we do together. I post messages for my team members as well. I post a lot of shopping recommendations because again, that is something I enjoy. So I enjoy fashion, I enjoy shopping, I like trying out sites which we put on CashKaro. So I try them out. I post कि मैंने ये site से ये चीज मंगाई, ऐसी थी, इस पे इतनी अच्छी deal है, आप खरीद लो, या अच्छी नहीं है तो then I won't mention about the deal. I post about my let's say if I'm covered in any media, or I will probably put the link of this podcast, or I'll just post maybe about what I'm up to. Also, I don't like to post necessarily about small things. Like there was a time when Facebook was new and people would post कि मैं अभी bread खा रही हूँ, अभी मैं soup पी रही हूँ, अभी मैं चप्पल पहन रही हूँ. I don't like to do that. I feel like कुछ अच्छा होना चाहिए content. So I try to create a mix, but it is very very true. It's very original. It's very me. I don't like to have a different facade for it.
So how have you split work between you and Rohan? What do you look after? What does he look after?
That's an interesting question because we have so many overlaps, but we have some very clear areas also. So Rohan looks after product and tech. That is all his with the product team and with the tech team. I don't get into it at all. He also looks at some other marketing channels like search engine optimization, like our search engine management, like our Google Ads and stuff. Now, what happens is that let's say if we are doing a large campaign, तो Rohan will talk to the SEM manager about हम क्या campaign चला रहे हैं, कैसे चला रहे हैं, but हम क्या creative चला रहे हैं, that will come under my domain because creative, brand, social, investors, media, all of that is under me. So जब हम anything that we talk about putting out to the world, whether it's a creative or whether it's a PR release or it is an article, that kind of comes under me. Certain forms of marketing we split on, this influencer marketing hai, so we will, because we both have a different perspective, on it, and we have different approach also. So we both like to contribute in some sense, but then the team managers take a call.
So, any tips for couples who work together? Like how to keep things sane and happy? Because in a startup, I imagine there would be a lot of insane
Yeah.
moments and a lot of disagreements.
Yeah. I think that while lot of generic tips can be given, but the one thing that for me is the most important as a couple working together and probably applies for any good working relationship of co-founders is to not have any egos at all. Because that is the point where you have to be okay to saying to the other person that fine, this is okay, you are right, you run with it, and you should be okay to take a backseat on certain things and be prepared to put that front foot forward with all your effort on certain things. So so that mix is really important, and I think for us why it works well is because we both sort of let each other do what the other person wants in their domain. So if tech is Rohan's domain, he wants to prioritize certain things, he wants to do it differently. I don't get into it at all, I'm fine with it. I know that in my mind he's the best person for that job, and the day I feel he is not, I'll probably also share that with him that look, I think we should get someone more professional for this particular thing. But and equally he would do that with me. So I think because we respect each other and we both have given each other that space to grow, and we are we're careful. I mean, to be honest, we've not really had a lot of big fights also, thankfully. There We've hardly had any issues where we both had such diverse opinions that we wouldn't know how to end this argument. Maybe it will come up someday, but so far it's not come up. I think it's because we both let it go, and I think if you let it go, then you won't have these issues.
Okay. So, what's next for Swati as a person? Like, what are your personal goals, or what are the kind of things you're interested in learning, doing?
I'm really into sort of yoga and meditation, and I have. I mean, I say I'm into it, but I know that I need to do a lot more to it. So my first, when this lockdown started, I told myself that what I really want to do is to start waking up earlier. So I used to be a 6:45, 7 a.m. person, which is not bad, because I know many people who are probably 8, 9 a.m. also, but I needed to be at 5:30 because I think 5:30 changes the game. And now I've managed to do that. So that is like a big step up for me because I feel that then it gives me, that quiet time in the morning. So I'm doing that. I want to be able to meditate a lot better. Abhibi, and a lot of meditation books also say this that when you start to meditate, don't expect कि आपके mind में कोई और thought नहीं आएगा कभी because your mind is working. It's not like suddenly your mind is not working. But I want to be able to do it much better. I want to you know if I have any issue, I want to be able to heal myself in trying to do that. And I'm a big believer in putting the right energies out to the universe, feeling good so that you attract that. So I listen to a lot of Gabriel Bernstein and Sister Shivani and Sadhguru and all of that. So I feel like over the last 1 year I have evolved a lot as a person, and I really really want to continue that journey for the next couple of years until I feel that okay, I've got it all under. I mean, I don't think I'll ever have it all under control, but at least you feel that okay, you are in a much better place. So I mean, my team tells me that we've seen you change so much over the last 1 year because you are just always so calm, and I mean, I was never like crazy angry sort of a person, but I think it's different to be calm, but it's different to be a positive person 24/7. And not like the irritating optimistic जो कुछ भी बोले होते देसे नहीं 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 ठीक ही हो जाएगा, the other person thinks आपको समझ भी नहीं आ रहा कि वो क्या कह रहे, for example, not like that. But I think that like on my birthday, for example, it was really sweet that the entire CashKaro team, they put together a video and everybody said different things, and many of them said that we like talking to you in the morning because you make us happy and you give us you make us smile and you're positive, and that is what I want to continue being. I want to be that more and more for every person. So I think it needs work on yourself to be able to do that. So I think for me, more than other skills, like at some point I thought I want to learn singing also, because it's something that I never thought I could do. So I just thought कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए where you just have this thing in your mind कि I'm so bad at it. So all that is true, but I think that this journey of self evolution is one that is very, very rewarding. So I want to continue.
So that was Swati telling us how she scaled up CashKaro with the help of marquee investors. If you're in the mood to do some online shopping, make sure you visit cashkaro.com first to snag some great cashback offers. And don't forget to thank Swati for all the discounts and deals.
If you like the Founder Thesis podcast, then do check out our other shows on subjects like marketing, technology, career advice, books, and drama. Visit thepodium.in, that is thepodium.in, for a complete list of all our shows.